It all really started with a simple problem. This Forestal e-bike that I got in the back of my truck right here just kept powering off without me touching the buttons at all. All right, let's kick on the motor now. Whew, let's go. Oh, there we go. So didn't touch any buttons and it just powered off all by itself. So I reached out to Forestal, and after working with them and Worldwide Cyclery,
I am Jared.
I'm Liam.
I'm Jeff.
I was left with basically two decisions. One, I could send the bike back to Worldwide Cyclery, have their mechanics fix it. Mind you, this is a bike that I'm borrowing from them to make these videos, so I would probably never get it back. Two, I can try and DIY fix it myself. And for some reason, I chose the latter, even though I have limited mechanical skills. Okay, like I'm not a total rookie mechanic, but basically know just enough about working on a bike and have just enough tools for working on a bike to get myself into a lot of trouble. Luckily for me, Forestal sent me this YouTube. They have a YouTube channel where they have some really good online tutorials. So what Forestal wanted me to do was to basically take the entire headset apart. This bike has some headset cable routing. Take that display apart, check all the connections on the bike, disconnect, reconnect everything, make sure it's nice and snug, put the bike back together, and then see if that remedied the problem. So after watching that, it didn't seem like that hard of a task, and I was pretty confident that I was going to be able to do this myself. But that confidence quickly turned to anxiety, you guys, especially when it came time to cut the wires. What the f doing right now? At that moment, right there, I was looking at those tiny little connections and this like circuit board type like wiring. And I was just thinking to myself, what the f are you doing right now? Why didn't you send this bike back to Worldwide Cyclery? Oh my gosh, I was really starting to regret my decision, but I had gone too far. I was at the point of no return. Was I making a huge mistake? Would I even be able to get this bike put back together? With each step, doubt really started to creep in. But I pressed on, fueled by determination, also fueled a tiny bit by the fact that I didn't want to look like an idiot sending this bike back to the guys at Worldwide Cyclery all torn apart and broken. But there was also like a sprinkle of hope there that I would actually be able to get this done. I'm just gonna go ahead, get everything snugged up, make sure everything's connected as I'm putting it back together, and hopefully it'll be good to go. Well, today, you guys, it's the moment of truth. We got the Forestal back there on the tailgate pad. We're taking it out to the trails. We're gonna see if this bike powers on, how it rides, if I fix this e-bike, or if I just destroyed my $10,000 Forestal Siryon Diode. All right, moment of truth. The power's on. I didn't break it. All right. Woo. Well, let's start pedaling. See if this thing works. All right, let's bump this thing up into turbo mode real quick, see how it does. Now, for those of you that have never rode an e-bike uphill like this bike's got like 80 Newton meters of torque. And yeah, I'm burning through the battery right now, but it is so much fun. It turns those brutal uphill climbs into like just another adrenaline filled part of the ride. So it was a little nerve-wracking right there as I was climbing up the trails, wondering if this bike was gonna have any more power glitches, wondering if I this bike up by tearing it apart like that and trying to put it back together. I had a feeling that shit would happen. But everything was riding smooth, was riding great on the way uphill. I took a little bit of time last night to set the suspension on this bike, get it dialed in. So on the way downhill, it was riding so good. I really love this lightweight e-bike. Oh, this bike is jumping so good right now. No power glitches so far throughout the entire day. Right now I got the rest of the guys waiting up for me right here, so I'm gonna get back on this bike, try powering it off and on a couple more times just to see if it gives me any issues. Hopefully it doesn't. Let's go ahead, start pedaling, let you guys know my final thoughts at the end of this ride. All right, really want to test this thing, so I'm gonna go ahead and power it off and power it back on in the middle of the trail here. So hopefully this powers back on. Shutting down. Didn't hit the stop training button, just powered it right off. Let's go ahead and power it back on. This thing takes a while to power back on. Whew. All right. Come on. There we go. Bike's running great. No issues. I don't know what, I think I'm maybe like 8-10 miles into riding so far. Been pushing it pretty hard, riding jump trails on the way back downhill, sending it to flat, riding some technical black diamond climbs on the way uphill with this bike all the way up into turbo mode. All right, let's see if the e-bike will help me at all. Got this thing up there in, what is it on? Yep, up there in turbo mode. Whew. A lot of running up and down the trails to set up these shots. If you guys have made it this far, smash that subscribe button, please. Help a brother out. No power issues so far on the way uphill. I've been going through all 4 power modes, eco mode all the way up to the fastest turbo mode, trying multiple black diamond climbs back there. I've even done the stop training and start training, just messing with all the different buttons on here. Everything's working good so far. So at the end of the day, this journey taught me that I'm capable of more than I think I am. I got this bike all torn apart, put it back together. I've had no issues. This bike is actually riding better than it ever has before because I took a little bit of time to set up that suspension right there and get it dialed in just right. Thanks for joining me on this roller coaster ride. Until next time, get stoked, go ride, and have some fun, people. Hands back on, hands back on. Woo, living on the edge. There we go, guys, just like I like it. Bike's all dirty, truck's nice and clean. This bike was riding good on the way downhill, smashing, following the rest of my boys on their enduro bikes. So much fun.